Right, everyone. So this part of the tutorial, we're going to look at creating an object which is going to be our event that pushes the ball, or the object that pushes the ball into the net. That would normally be obviously somebody's foot, but in this case, we haven't got a model to use as a foot. If we try to search for foot, it wouldn't really show anything. So we're not going to use a pre-made model. We're just going to create a basic, we're going to use a basic building block for this part of it. If you have more time and you want to start to create something that represents a foot, by all means, combine the cylinder with this, what looks like a pill, or other shapes that you think would help you create something that resembles more like a foot. Please be aware that coding these objects might become a bit more complex as you combine objects together. So to keep things simple for our tutorial, we're just going to use a cuboid or a cube. Now let's place that inside just behind the football. And again, remember, using the snapping allows me to line things up very neatly so I can see that this is actually quite a good position. I might change the width of it slightly and perhaps the height of it slightly. But other than that, I'm really quite comfortable with that just being sitting right behind the ball. I might move it slightly closer, and you'll come to learn how to adjust this in order to make it work for your model. It's not one size fits all, so you just have to make a few adjustments until you're ready. But this is the object that's going to hit the ball. Later on, we might make that transparent. It's really up to you how you change its properties in terms of its materials. I'm not going to go too much into this for this part of the tutorial, but you can certainly adjust that yourself. Let's make it a bit more of a bright color so we can see it. Maybe represent football team color. Let's keep it an orange. Now that we've got our cuboid or our cube, this is going to enact the force upon the ball. We can now go into its properties to add those bits of settings. So first thing to do is call it whatever you want in terms of its label. I call it a foot. This just helps me remember what it is in terms of the animation. We click on the code button here and make sure this is enabled in CoBlocks. Always do that, make sure that it's enabled so we can use it in the coding blocks. And the next step is to change its physics. This is quite crucial. Again, we're going to turn on the physics. We can do precise collision on this one again. Remember, that's going to allow it to interact with its surface area. With a cube, it's not really going to make much of a difference here, but we'll turn that on. We'll also adjust the mass so that we can generate a decent size of force from this. Again, your science teacher will be able to tell you about the formula in relation for force and velocity with the mass. But we're just going to turn on, I'm going to change the mass, so it's around about 10 kilos in terms of its mass there. And we're going to leave bounciness there as it is and friction there as it is. We're not going to adjust those too much just yet. Again, these properties might need to be changed. We might come back and have a look at them. Let's see how the model works out first. Now, let's get into the coding. So we've created an object that we want to hit the football that's going to enable it to move towards the net. So what we want to do is go into the code blocks here. I'm just going to reduce the library panel because it gives me more space to work with.